All right. Okay, my name is Symphonii Smith-Kennedy, and I'm a first-generation Jamaican-American. So I would say my journey as an artist has been pretty tough, especially being from Caribbean parents and knowing the struggle of, trying to be an emerging artist and making it out there. But it's not something that I would trade for the world. Like, it was worth doing and still doing it, especially the uncertainties of the art practice. For me, my journey for becoming an artist was a tough one. It's still tough, but I wouldn't trade it for the world because this is who I am. Like, my whole life, I've been making work ever since I could hold something. So I definitely feel like I couldn't be anything but an artist, and being in a world that's like, it's more on the capitalistic aspect of it. And you have to come to terms like, okay, I have to do other things to make my art live, but I wouldn't trade it for a different lifestyle. So in my work, the themes I normally explore are Black queer themes. I'm trying to capture the aspect of Black fantasy, but from my perspective, because a lot of times you don't usually see fantasy in a Black lens. It's always like a Eurocentric or Asian-centric mythology based, but we have our own mythology. So I like to bring that to life and connect people to, their own culture and see, like, we have our stories to tell that we can create and translate into artwork. And that's like my biggest goal, is to spread the awareness that we have our own things that we can share. We don't have to look for others outside of our culture. So I would say my biggest one right now, which is kind of funny, I don't try to draw too exact to like the common ones like the orishas. So I like to use, I guess smaller ones. Like right now, I have one of my favorite characters I made. It's called a Ninki Nanka. That's based off of an actual African river dragon that lives, I believe, in the Gambia River. And it's supposed to be matched up with, it has the neck of a giraffe, the body of a crocodile, and it also, I think it has the head of a horse. But, that's kind of crazy looking. So I made it, into my own version. And now it's inspiring the second part of a series I'm working on for what it would be like if Jamaicans and the Taino people actually made their own religions outside of Eurocentric views like Christianity. And I'm using that as a basis of like our culture being derived from that space where our ancestors came from, and it leaving an impression on, the people of Jamaica as of today. So how that would look like. Yeah. Yes. So this one right here is Come a Foreign. So this one talks about the transitions of coming from immigrant parents, especially Jamaican parents, and how it trickles down into me, which is like a feeder, and how it becomes American because I was born here. So I use a lot of symbolism in my work and an iconography. So in the Jamaica portion, which is the green part, you can see where I have the crocodile, which symbolizes the American crocodile that you could find that's a native to Jamaica. And I have fruits that represent how fruitful the land is. And also the coat of arms is referenced in here with the basket of the fruits, because if you see, that's one of the original flags that we created to represent our people, where it says the one of many, like we are one. And then down here I have, iguanas, because you can't go to Florida and not see any iguanas. So that was like my Florida marker right here. And then, but I think my favorite part of my symbolism in this piece in particular is actually the mongoose, because I have the mongoose to symbolize the African slaves that were brought to work the land in Jamaica. But despite what they were brought there to do, they didn't, end up staying there. They ended up fighting for their freedom eventually. Just like how the mongoose were brought there to eat off the mice and the rodents, but they ended up, escaping and becoming invasive. So that's what I have the mongoose there for. And then this one here is actually from an older series called Not Your Muse. And this piece is called Congo, where basically I wanted to identify every African country or African deposit where I have a Black woman or femi or non-binary person to represent. And instead of it being where a lot of times where you see women looking away or not challenging gaze wise. They're staring at you to realize like, we're not going to be, and they're not going to follow the whole issue of having the male gaze on them. We're going to challenge you back with the female gaze by just staring back at you. So I also put different things where the pattern in the background is actually from the Congo fabric called the kente cloth, and I used that there, so I wanted to bring in some roots so you know where it's connected. So that's such a big question. What it means to be Jamaican American is like you belong nowhere. Like you go to Jamaica, they don't consider you Jamaican. You're here in America, they don't consider you American. And it's this weird loophole because I know that I'm both and you can't take, either one, but it would be nice to have some form of acceptance in a sense. But instead of me, I guess, getting caught up into that feeling, I just make my own circle of other people who are also other first gen Americans, or people who aren't probably first gen, but they've been so far removed from their culture that they don't really feel like they belong there either. So, but I feel like that plays a big role with my work, especially with this new series I'm working on called Saltwater and Concrete, where it's actually reconnecting me with my roots and things that I didn't even know about Jamaica. And now I'm putting it on a broader spectrum so other people could see like, hey, like this information is important and we should all know about it, instead of just going our everyday without, realizing that our history holds power. So
what mediums?
Okay, my mediums that I like to work with right now, mainly oil paint, but I'm trying to figure out how can I paint with other mediums or other, I guess, not just the painting, but like the surface itself. So right now I've been experimenting with like using like right here, I use like MDF board instead of using canvas or paper and stuff like that. So, thank you for having me for being this show. Like this has been like one of the most exciting things because I've been yearning to be in like a Caribbean show. I feel like it's always just one or the other. It's not somewhere like something that's actually of my people. So I'm excited to be in this show. I've been inviting a lot of people. So
awesome. Thank you so much.
No problem.